It's connected to you. I'm connected to you.
Hello. It's me, Carla, back with another video. Believe it or not, I didn't think I was going to have to make this video, but I'm going to do the beginning part while I'm still at work on my lunch break, because once I get there, get it done, I'm not going to have time to do the early part. So I'm doing part of it now, and then I'm going to do the other part, well, more detailed part, when I get home afterwards. I hope you can hear me. My door is open. It's hot as a mug out here, but it's too cold inside the building for me to sit in there. Let me tell you what's going on. We all know from my last video, I got the snake eyes. Well, snake eyes, if you can't tell, this ball is different from the other ball. Why, you may ask? Because I decided, once everything stopped hurting after day 9 of my last recording, to eat an apple. As a result of eating an apple, I not only bit the piercing on the side, but I think I swallowed the ball, because even though I have carpet, we have not seen that diamond stud since. So it's a possibility I ate the ball. And then after watching so many different YouTube videos after the piercing, people kept saying how they swallowed their balls, how they kept coming loose. I don't remember ever really having much problem with that with my other tongue piercing, my original traditional one. But I mean, at times, sometimes, yeah, once I started changing jewelry and stuff, I did have a problem with that, but not until then. I know my daughter had a problem with her septum coming apart one time, and we had to replace her ball, or find it rather. But to swallow a ball, I'm not down with that. Plus, my balls had little diamonds in them. So I spoke to the piercer guy that I like to go to, talked to him. He already gave me an idea of what the other piercing was, but it's different than what I had described in one of my other videos about what I thought it was going to be. It is not the venom piercing. It's actually supposed to be a surface piercing. And I do have a few questions, because now I'm wondering, do I want to get a horizontal one or a vertical one? But I'll see when I get there, because I have like maybe 5 or 6 questions that I took notes on that I'm going to ask him about before I actually get it done. But we'll see this afternoon after I get it done and I come back with a recap. But that's where we are. Unfortunately, I've got to let the snake eyes go. It's hard for me to eat. I don't trust trying to chew harder foods with it. I'm still eating soft foods and drinking liquid. But after the apple incident, I really don't want to chew nothing that I've got to bite down in. Like I said, I've already had a regular traditional piercing before, so I pretty much know what it is. The only thing is that I don't want the ball under my tongue, because it did erode my gums behind my bottom teeth. So that's why I want to talk to him about the vertical versus the horizontal for the surface piercing, because that would be like the perfect thing for me, because it don't go up underneath. But unless he can put a flat head under the bottom like you do, I think it's called labrae, where it's flat on the inside and the studs on the outside. But I don't think you can do that with a traditional tongue piercing. So right now, if I want to get a tongue piercing, it may just have to be the surface. But we will see later on. As you can tell, the list is pretty much gone. Sometimes it's still there every now and then, but we're finna start this process all over again. I'm not sure if I'm gonna run it like I did before every day with another update, how it's doing. We'll see how I feel as time goes on. But right now, that's what we're looking at. We're finna let the snake eyes go and go with a different piercing. So we will see you back in a few hours. Until then. Okay, I'm actually back from getting it done. I just realized that the last recording I just did didn't actually record. So I'm actually having to record the whole thing all over again. So, it was quite interesting. On a scale of, pain levels, 0 out of 10, it actually was more like 11, 12 getting it done. I don't know if it was because my tongue is still kind of so-called tender, because my other snake eye piercing is not 100% well yet. He did take it out and threw it in trash. Although I was like, okay, I kind of sort of need one of them balls. It's one of my actual personal balls, but it's okay. It'll be all right. He did use the clamps, but he didn't let them lock. He put like a rubber band on the back of it. So it kind of sort of helped with a little bit with the pain, but it still hurts. I didn't feel it as much as I did before going through the layers, but it did sting a lot. That was the biggest thing. Other than just the pain, it mostly stung a lot. I have been putting a lot of canker on it all the way home. I tried to get some ice water from Chick-fil-A. The ice water on top of my tongue felt pretty good. It just when it touched the tip or up underneath it, it's when it just started sizzling again. It started burning. And what I'm thinking is it's probably because the snake eye piercing or the other one is still open. The tunnel is still open. So I'm sure I got nerves in there just, exposed. And I'm putting something cold on it because it's like ice cold. And, it's probably that's causing it because I got to wait for that hole to close up. And now I got another one on top of it. I don't know if I just mentioned this or not. I'm in a lot of pain, so I'm kind of like in and out. The balls are way, 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 way much smaller than I thought they were going to be. So there isn't any balls at all that's hanging around the edges of my tongue anymore. I can barely even feel them across the top because I guess my tongue is either so swollen that I can't feel them, or they're so small that it's like they're not even there. But this is what it looks like. It's like I got like a little fold in the middle. He said that's from me having the other piercing. So it actually does now look more like a snake eye than the other one did, because if you think about the way a snake's mouth is, it's like a little peak in it. So now my tongue has a little peak in it. I hope it actually will go away because it is hard to talk with that little peak right there. In parts of my tongue that was kind of sort of tingly and nummy like from the first piercing, now it's exposed and it's like rubbing the top of my mouth, and it feels weird being there like that. So, it's like the nerve endings are having to grow back together kind of thing. I'm hoping I didn't cause any damage by going to these first people. But I know now I'm definitely going to stick with the guy that I like to go to over at Hollywood Tattoos. But he said, of course, if I have any problem with this one, I can always go back and talk to him about it. The reason why I'm not talking too loud because it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad to talk loud. It mostly hurts up under here, all the way down through here. Of course, I can't take NSAIDs because it's the surgery I had last year, so that knocks out my ibuprofen, my Aleve, and my Advil, because I even tried to find out, well, there's one of them I can at least take, but unfortunately, I can't take either one because I can't take NSAIDs. So I just took two rapid release extra strength Tylenols on the way home with some of the water I had in the car from Chick-fil-A. And I did buy me a bag of ice just to make sure that my stuff stayed cold. But I'm not sure I'm going to come back every day and do it. I don't know if I'm going to just wait a few days to, see how it goes and then just kind of like give like sporadic updates, or I'm just going to call it a night after this one video and just make one little short video clip of it. But this is like a few hours literally after getting it done. Unfortunately, I forgot to chew my calcium chew before I had it done. So I'm going to let my mouth rest a little bit before I try to chew that thing, because it can get kind of interesting trying to chew, because it's like almost like chewing taffy, caramel taffy kind of thing. So I really don't want to try to put that through myself. That's why I wish I had done it beforehand. I do have a couple of pills that I may be able to kind of substitute it instead, at least just for the night. Instead of trying to push myself to chew it after what I just went through with my tongue, because everything literally is hurting, like hurt. I don't really feel like chewing nothing. he was like, oh yeah, you could better eat when you get home. But I just don't even feel like moving my tongue. That's why my mouth sounds, and I keep drooling too. Um, I keep sounding like I'm not even moving my tongue, and that's literally what I'm trying not to do. I'm seriously trying not to move my tongue while following up with this video. Um, yeah, it bled a lot more than what it did before. I could feel it just pulling. Um, when he was making sure it was tight, because that was one of the problems I had with the last one. Now, me biting this one, it's gonna be interesting. I don't see how I would bite it to a certain point, because A, it's not hanging off, and B, it's not raised up above my tongue like my other tongue piercing. It's literally almost like I don't feel it. It's like it's not even there, pretty much. I know something there, but it's like I don't feel it when I brush across my tongue. I don't know if it's because the balls are literally so small, much, much, much smaller than what I thought they were going to be based off of what I saw from other people, or my tongue is just so swollen to the point to where it pretty much, it's leveled out with the balls. Maybe, after a few days, swelling starts going down on it. Maybe the balls are kind of protrude a little bit more, but right now everything is just like, smooth across. I don't even feel it when I do that. I don't even know I got a piercing in my tongue, other than the fact that something hurt and just something's there. But drinking cold water burns the edge of it, because after all, like I said, it's open. It's a tongue that's open from the previous piercing, and it also burns underneath. So I've just pretty much, just I can hold it on top and make it feel real good. But right now, the pain, it's not quite a 10. It might hit a 10 because of the sharp pain, the kind of spikes that keep surging through it. It's pretty much like an 8.5, 9 right now, but it is very uncomfortable right now. So it's like literally taking all my energy to get this one video clip done, because it hurts that bad. It literally does. And I'm hoping that this piercing works out better than the rest of them that I've ever had in my mouth, because even with the traditional tongue piercing, it kept, after a while, it started bumping underneath my tongue. And he was like, if I feel like it's too close to the tip, he can always move it back. So I'm hoping that this one works out well, and it don't have to be moved no more, because I really hope I don't have to get my tongue pierced no more. It hurts. I ain't gonna cap. I'm not gonna cap. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like I said, I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that my tongue is already semi-tender from the first one that I just had done a few weeks back. But it mother hurt like hell, okay? It really does hurt. I ain't gonna even cap about it. But I'm gonna go ahead and change into my night clothes so that I can just go to bed. I know it's kind of early, but I'm tired. It's worn me out, but I'm finna rest. But like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna come back with another one, or I'm just gonna call it quits after this one. I'm not sure. But just in case I don't, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment on this video. And, share your thoughts, share it with your friends. Let your friends know what they're getting into before they get this, because it does hurt. I mean, I knew it was going to hurt going in because my anxiety was through the roof. But that's me. I just do stuff like that. It is what it is. But until next time, bye. What's up? What's up? What's up? Before I decided to post my video, I decided to go ahead and do some follow-up videos first. So this is actually morning after the new piercing, surface piercing, frog piercing, revised snake piercing. I don't know what you want to call it. Last night, it was a lot of tossing and turning going on. As you can tell, I'm still dealing with a lot of swelling. I'm going to be doing a very limited talking today. It is swollen like crazy. I did a lot of drooling. It really took me back to when I had my original first piercing, my traditional. tongue piercing down the middle. A lot of the stuff that I did with that is like a repeat of this one. So it's kind of sort of making me feel like we gonna be good because I had my other piercing for almost 20 years, no problem. Maybe close to years 17, 15, somewhere around there. It did start migrating a little bit, messing up the back of my tongue, but back of my teeth, hurting at the bottom of my tongue underneath it. But I was able to keep it for a very long period of time. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to hold on to this one for a long period of time as well. I did learn this morning though that some of my fold in my tongue is because the piercing did go out before it came back in. So I don't want to touch it, but right there, what I was pointing to is actually like a little piece of where you can see the bar going through my tongue because some parts of my tongue on the tip is kind of thin. And like I said, I did get a previous piercing from another place, which I will never recommend ever again. I'm not going to tell you what the name of the place is, but they know who they are. Um, just because your friend said, it's $20 here, da 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 woot woot over there, they doing deals, da 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 da. Don't go. I repeat, do not go just because somebody said, oh, you may get a deal such and so place, or whatever, without actually doing your homework on these people. Because there were so many red flags when I went to go to this place. And it really didn't, I saw it, but I didn't see it. But when I got ready to get my tongue pierced yesterday, oh, I saw all the bells and whistles. Because yesterday when I got my tongue pierced, even though he wasn't the first person who pierced it in initially with my traditional tongue piercing, he did the exact same thing. Whether it was taking my ID, the other place did not take my ID. He did mark my tongue. The other place did not mark my tongue. He clamped it like the other place did, which I feel better because it is hard to hold your tongue out for a long period of time because we're not accustomed to keeping our tongue out. So it will retract. And then I rinsed my mouth out before and after getting the piercing. So even though I had brushed my teeth before I went and got it done and cleaned it with my Listerine, because after all, I'm still doing another care from the snake eyes. I keep Listerine with me and sea salt water still with me. I did that before I actually went. But regardless, when I got ready to get there and I got on, the bench or whatever they call it, before he pierced it, I had to rinse again. So it was like, bet he's clean with his stuff. And I did the same thing with my traditional piercing at another tattoo place many, many, many moons ago. So it was like, yeah, that's when all the bells and whistles started kicking in about different piercing places. So that's why I'm like, no more. He said, she said, oh, you need to go check out my folks. You can check out my people. That's what you need to do because at the end of the day, I know my stuff is going to be done right because if you're going to do it the same way from somebody who's already done a tongue piercing for me and I didn't have no problem with it, had it in for over 20 something years, then I know, first of all, you know how to do tongue piercings. Second of all, you've done almost every piercing I've had since then, pretty much. No, he has done every other piercing I've had since then, except for maybe the baby piercings that, all little kids get at birth or, little. I was 7 years old when I got my first ear piercing. But all the rest of my piercings, he did those. And he's the only people outside of the same place who did my first piercing to do my tattoos. Because another place that did a tattoo was on my arm, and I actually had to let them redo it because they didn't know what they were doing either. So, oh, hot. It is what it is, but I am gonna stick with them. But today I was able to just eat some chicken salad just a few minutes ago. The swelling is heavier or thicker rather when I'm laying down resting. I am not going to be talking that much today. I will be doing a lot of resting today.
But just drinking of cold water, trying to keep that down, trying to help with that. I really don't like straight water. So I had to kind of slow down with the water a little bit because being that I'm not really a straight water drinker, I usually put water enhancers in it. I was afraid of it burning my tongue because I have several holes going on in my tongue right now. And it kind of burnt it a little bit yesterday. I didn't really want to step up with the water enhancer in the water. I just wanted straight water. But being that I don't drink straight water on a regular basis, it started making me kind of nauseous. So I was like, yeah, I'm kind of okay with that for right now. I'm going to just drink my water enhanced ice cold water. Like I said on the other clip, I think I did buy some a bag of ice from Chick-fil-A on my way home so I can make sure that my water stays cold. When I drank my protein shake this morning, it helped out so much. It's like it started shrinking a lot of that overnight swelling, which is why I'm able to talk a little bit better now. I was able to surprisingly chew my calcium chew this morning. I mean, when I say I took my time chewing that sucker, I broke it in half, even though it's only like maybe so big. I broke that sucker in half, kind of squished it up in my hand, tried to warm it up a little bit like I used to do it before. And I just chewed very, 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 very slowly because I was so afraid that sucker was going to either get hung around it. And I had to try to get it off because it's like I said, it's like taffy, kind of sticky like. Or I was going to accidentally move my tongue the wrong way and bite it. But this is one thing I can say about this piercing versus all my other mouth piercing, tongue piercings. I still don't really feel it a little bit. If I rub my tongue against the top of my lip, I can feel it a little bit now. So I therefore let me know, okay, the swelling is trying to decrease some. I am waiting for my doctor's office to give me a call back though to see if I can take a few, a couple of NSAIDs between today and tomorrow only. But we'll see. I just have to do the cold compress issue. And I did do Chat GPT to see what the other options I can do for the swelling. And they did recommend the sea salt water. So of course I'll be doing that as well. So, and also learning from the last experience with the tongue piercing with the snake eyes, talk little as possible. So I may come back a little later on after 24 hours of actually getting it done. But I want to go ahead and chime in this morning before I forget. But this is it now. A lot of the swelling has gone down a lot since this morning when I first got up. Because when I tell you this morning, it was like a balloon. Yes, it was a balloon. It was a balloon. It was a balloon. It was a balloon. A balloon. Balloon, 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 balloon. But I cannot curl my tongue yet because right now with the piercing the way it is, it's making me go around the other way. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to curl it. Right now it's too sore. I tried to do it this morning, but it ain't even that serious. I don't curl my tongue that much anyway. But I was trying to see if I could kind of push it with my lip to see if it'll poke out one side versus the other side just to check the length of the bar. But it did move a little bit, so it's not getting embedded. That's a good thing, which is something I was concerned about. But they do say that day 3 has the most swelling. I hope it don't because it's so good. When it swells, it hurts bad. I still got the pain going through here and right here. It has caused quite a bit of headaches. The drool is real. I can't stress that enough. The drool is real. The drool is real. It brought me all the way back to my traditional piercing because I used to drool like a mother when I was asleep. But thankfully, I did see a couple of times on different things where you're supposed to elevate your head. And thankfully, I have like a mobility bed, like a hospital kind of bed that will allow me to either lift my feet or my head. And I had that sucker inclined to try to help with some of the swelling. But I'm going to go to rest right now. But I just want to chime in for a quick moment. To give a quick update. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it tonight or tomorrow night. More than likely, I'll probably come back later on tonight before I actually go to bed to give an update on how it went for the rest of the day. But at least I know I can't eat chicken salad and my protein, not my protein, but my calcium. So at least I can get some of my nutrients in and keep it moving. So until later, I chat later. Well, I'm back. It's now officially been 24 hours since I got my new piercing. Today was actually better than it was with my snake eye piercings. It does still hurt, as you can tell. It's still very, 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 very swollen. I'm not sure if I mentioned this on my last recording. I did. I did get confirmation that I can actually take a leave now that I've had the surgery. But like I told them, I'm only gonna take it for maybe like 2 or 3 days, and hopefully by then I won't need it anymore. I actually just took my first dose at 8 o'clock tonight, so I won't be taking it another dose until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning because I'm gonna keep it going versus keeping the Tylenol going. So I'm hoping that overnight a lot of the swelling it will go down. I did break my diet and eat one little blueberry ice cream cup because I really wanted something cold on my tongue. Been eating ice, just like I used to do a long time ago, just put it in a cup and just eat out of it. So that's one of the things I have been doing tonight. Well, more like today. I'm still eating on that 1 cup of ice, and I will be taking some ice to work tomorrow, just so I can just get a chip and just put it in my mouth and hold it for a while, and hope that it will help with some of the swelling throughout the day. I have not been doing that much talking today, and I plan to hopefully not have to do that much talking tomorrow, even though I'll be at work tomorrow. But yeah, I haven't had too much drooling, but we'll see overnight. Some of the swelling has gone down a lot. The main thing I have been eating today is the chicken salad still and peanut butter, and like I said, the ice chips. So I haven't tried to eat anything too hard. The hardest thing I've actually eaten since I got the new piercing was the calcium chews. And like I said before, I just break them in half and just put them in the back of my mouth and just slowly chew it piece by piece. And then when it gets down to be about the size of a pill, I just swallow it and just call it a night, instead of just trying to chew it all the way down to like it's nothing, because I want to make sure my tongue doesn't try to slide into the area. It's hard for me to chew on this side. I'm not even going to try it no time soon. I'm just going to stay on this side for a while. But that's the way the day's been. For the pain scale, surprisingly, the pain scale on this one has been a lot different than the actual snake eye piercing. It's mostly just a lot of discomfort, a little bit of stinging still, and swelling. The swelling for me has been the biggest thing for me all day long. I would say out of 10, surprisingly, the pain is like maybe around a 4 to a 5, shockingly. Like I said, the biggest discomfort is when the swelling kicks in, and that's when most of the pain gets started. So yeah, so I've been just trying to keep like cool things going in my mouth, cold water rather, and the ice chips. I don't know how this is gonna pan out with me tomorrow because the office is so cold. I'm getting hot. I don't know how this is gonna pan out with me tomorrow with the office being so cold, and then I'm gonna start taking cold stuff internally. Um, but if that's what I have to do in order to keep my tongue settled, then I guess I'll be pulling out the big coat tomorrow and taking it to work instead of the actual just regular coat. So I will figure that out first thing in the morning. Am I going to take the heavy coat, or I'm just going to stick with the lighter coat? Because either way, I'll be in a coat, hat, and gloves tomorrow, especially if I'm eating ice stuff and keeping my body cool on the inside, especially for my tongue. Because, like I said, the swelling is the biggest thing. When it swells, that's when all the pain really gets above a 5. It'll spike to maybe 6 or 7. And that's where it mostly be, when it starts just swelling, throbbing, get too hot, stuff like that. So right now, like I said, it's just sitting on a 4.5, 4 or 5 range because it really not hurting right now. Yeah, like I said, it is hard for me to speak. As you can tell, I have a mega list because with the tongue flipped the other way versus, just either flat or flipped up, is like the air is coming off underneath my tongue. If the swelling has not changed by Saturday, this is my goal because tomorrow, I'm just gonna keep playing it out for the rest of the week coming up. If the pain, or not the pain, but the swelling has not changed by Saturday or within a couple of days, I'm gonna have to hit up Cliff and see, can he just take a relook at it and see, do we need to swap this bar out for something a little bit bigger. I did try to see if I can kind of push the ball a little bit off of my tongue just to see, was it getting embedded. It will move, it will lift, but it will burn like a mother if I put my hands on it. So the object is, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. I do not want to have to touch it. Just let it do it because it is swollen really, really bad, but it will move. Like if I push this side, it'll move up this way. If I push this side, it'll move just a little bit. It's not much give room either way because it is really, really swollen. So either by Saturday or either in a couple of days, if things haven't changed yet, I will contact Cliff and just have him just take a look at it and see, do we need to consider a larger bar, especially because I don't know what happened to the recording, but it just automatically stopped. But I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off soon. But like I was saying, if the swelling and the folding is still there within a couple of days, I'm gonna get in touch with Cliff and see, can he look at it again, just in case that fold can be flattened out a little bit more if I have a longer bar to allow it to heal. And then I may just have to go with a longer bar altogether instead of the shorter one, because I'm wondering, is the shorter bar causing the fold even more because it did go through it when he pierced it? I guess it kind of braised it a little bit. It looked like it's trying to, like something's trying to grow over the bar to close it up, but you can't hardly see it that well. But I know, like this morning, it was a blood clot sitting there, so it had been bleeding throughout the night, as well as, I guess, yesterday as well after it was done. So some of the bleeding was not from the top, it was actually from the bottom. But that's pretty much been cleared out. It just looked like some type of membrane is under there trying to, I guess, seal around the bar underneath it. But it does burn a lot if certain things touch it. I have not been using the canker as much. I may put just a little bit on there tonight just to kind of allow me some time to rest and relax a little bit, even better. But that's where we're going at. Like I said, it's been 24 hours since it's been pierced, and we'll see how it goes. So until then, peace.
Hello. It's me. I am back with another piercing update. I didn't come back yesterday after work because there was a lot of running around to do. I know I had said initially that I was going to wait a few days before I went and saw my piercer, but the pain. Now, here's the thing. The pain was mostly from the swelling that was going on in my tongue, but not necessarily the actual piercing, because the other bar was just a little bit too tight for the healing process, and it was just annoying. So I asked him to please put in a bigger bar. I was shocked at what bar he uses because it's actually similar to my hoop for my septum, but he just opened it up. Who would have thought it would have been the same, almost the same bar? But I think it was like a lip bar, more like it, the one that you put in your lip, like I had before, or the one I had in my ear. But either way, he opened up the horseshoe and made it wider. So now it's actually longer, way much longer than I anticipated. So now I've got to get accustomed to it bumping the roof of my mouth, making sure it doesn't rip my hole
because I have to sit it a certain way. That's why I'm talking the way I'm talking now, because it is very, very long. So I have to make sure that when I talk, I let it lay down, or either I'll push this side down more and then just let it kind of lay that way, like the C go this way versus going this way, because I've noticed on every time he tightened up the ball, even with the other piercer on my tongue with the snake eye, this is the ball they always tighten. They always put it in this way. So with them clamping onto this one, trying to tighten it on this side, this hole is always the sorest out of all of them. So right now, this side is very, very sore. This side is good. Not really much problem unless the bar comes down, or like today, I ate a little bit of chicken salad for lunch and I moved my tongue the wrong way and my teeth went between the openings of the hook, and it kind of snagged it this way a little bit. So I had to, kind of jump a little bit, readjust, move the food around before I bit back down again, and then I was good. But right now, the pain is really pretty much gone. It's just me bumping it because this hole on this side is not well yet. Well, I mean, none of it's well, but this hole on this side is a little more tender because of the fact that now the longer bar is in. The swelling looks like it's pretty much has subsided a lot. I tried drinking a lot of water. You can only drink so much water. You can only eat so much ice. I don't eat ice like I used to. Maybe when I was eating ice, I probably wouldn't have had this kind of problem. Still taking the Aleve. I actually take 2 Aleves in the morning around 8-ish. And then I take 1 before I go to bed. I really haven't had to use the Kanka except for last night because it was tender. Like I said, this ball on this side is just tender a lot. 1, because now it's longer. So my top of my mouth is hitting it, pushing it in there in the hole a lot, bumping it. And before it was pulling it a lot. So that didn't help none either. But yeah, that's what we are today. Right now, I'll probably come back later on tonight because I'm in the car, as you can tell, lunch break. And my phone is getting hot because I just saw the screen go down. It is actually 84 degrees out here. So it's only so much recording I can do this time of day. And of course, I got to go out of the building because it is icy cold in there. I actually got my leather coat today, or leather jacket rather. But that's where we are right now. I didn't record last night because it was just too sore trying to figure out how to talk. And if it sits straight up, it bumps cleanly, like actually in top of my mouth, like the roof of my mouth. It just like hits it like this, like that. So I have to kind of get it to lean back or flip it around a certain way, and then it's much better. I do have a bad list because of the fact that I am trying not to let that bar hit the top of my tongue, hit the top of my mouth. So that's why the list is there real bad, real bad today. But yesterday and the other day, it would be, there because my tongue was so swollen. But today, it's mostly because of the fact that the bar is longer. I know he told me to come back in a couple of days and get it swapped back out with the original bar. When he does that, I'm gonna still ask him, can he, instead of putting that real small one in there, he said it was not migrating into my tongue. Is there one that's like a hairpin of an inch, just a little bit longer than the other one? So that at least I know that there's a piercing there versus no piercing at all and it just looked like dots on my tongue. I don't know. We'll see. But maybe by today's Friday, maybe by Sunday or Monday, because he don't work on Monday. So maybe by Sunday or Tuesday, I may be ready for him to go ahead and put the short bar back in it. I'm not doing it myself. You got me effed up if you think I am. I'm not finna do it. I'm not finna touch it. I'm not finna swap it. But maybe by either Sunday or Tuesday, I may be ready for my original bar back or a shorter bar back.
and we'll see how it goes from there. But like I said, right now, the only thing that's just making it tender is the fact that my mouth keeps hitting the top of the bars, pushing them down into the piercing. And like I said, he tightens this side up all the time, and it making it by him pulling on it, you know, with the whatever it is he's twisting it with or whatever. Because my eyes are closed at this point, so I don't be seeing what's coming at my mouth. But just one quick update: the split that was underneath my tongue was not from him piercing it like I thought it was. It was actually my tongue rejecting the jewelry from the other piercing people, the bootleg people that I said I went to first that didn't do the ID or do the mouse wish and all that kind of stuff. Whatever jewelry they used was actually ripping itself out of my tongue. So please, 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 people, please, 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 people, know who's piercing you, especially if it's in your mouth. Because the last thing you want, especially with a tongue piercing, is to have a hole in your mouth. So it is trying to heal because my membranes are trying to grow back over it. But he said that is actually what it was. So apparently when he took the other piercing out, because I really didn't see it, I keep forgetting to go back and look at my old videos or my other pictures of what my piercing looked like beforehand. I guess he saw it then, but yeah, he said that was a reaction of the other piercing jewelry that was actually on my tongue. I pray my stomach is gonna be well. Better yet, I pray that ball fell on the floor, because if I'm not mistaken, I think something fell and hit my lip. So I'm hoping that was that ball that actually fell on the floor and I didn't ingest it. But yeah, I really hope that was the ball that fell on the floor that touched my lip and not just the piercing sliding out of my tongue. I don't know what that was. I really don't. But I really hope I did not swallow that cheap aid jewelry. I'm not going to cuss because I already heard other people talk about how YouTube about, you know, profanity and stuff like that. But I really hope that I did not swallow that piece of cheap jewelry, because knowing that it tried to, you know, start ripping through my tongue, there's no telling what it's going to do with my system. And I've gone through so much with surgery. But yeah, it is what it is. I hope I'm good. I'm scared to tell my bariatric doctor about it, because he does not know I got my tongue pierced. And I feel like it's a need to know basis. So hopefully I'll be all right. I pray I'll be all right. But that's it for now. I will try to chime back in later on. I'm going to be doing a lot of running today because I got a meeting this evening and I got to do some more errands today. Plus, I did gas today too. But anywho, yeah, that's it for now. I will see you all back later.
Hello, hello, hello. It's me. I am back. Following back up from earlier. I'm at home now, as you can tell. Once we get through with these videos about the piercing, I'll be back in my regular location, or I may set up a whole different location. But I am not sure yet. But I am happy to announce that after all the drama with the piercings, I think I finally found a winner. It is still, I still got the long bar in, as you can tell. Like I said earlier today, I'm gonna keep it in for a little bit. I'm gonna actually give it time to really mature a little bit before I try to switch it back out again. I am gonna switch it to the short one that I had before. Although I would prefer getting one just a itty bitty bit longer, but not much longer, but kind of close longer, but not all the way longer. Just as long as it stays close to the tongue, but not as high as it is right now, where it's actually bumping in the top of my mouth. As far as the pain today, we are 0 out of 10. Every now and then, I have a little bit of discomfort because, of course, the bar is long. So, I mean, it's still healing. So, of course, it's going to be a little sensitive for that. But other than that, I haven't used any canker. I did take some Aleve today. I took 2 Aleve this morning at 11. Yeah, 11. I really don't feel like I need to take some tonight. If anything, I may just take some Tylenol because I'm actually trying to wean off the Aleve so that, you know, I mostly just wanted to get me over the hump. But if anything should come up, I may just take some Tylenol tonight, or I haven't used any Kankel since last night. Maybe just take, you know, put a couple drops of Kankel on there or some oil gel. Just something topical, quick, easy, keep it moving. But like I said, the only thing that's really bothering me is when it starts flipping backwards and it starts hitting the top of my mouth. So, but other than that, and even then, when it does hit on the right side, like I mentioned earlier, it keeps tightening the balls up from the right side. So even then, like just now, it just tapped it from the roof of my mouth. It didn't hurt as bad. So, you know, I felt it, but it wasn't like, ooh, ah kind of thing. I have been doing a lot of talking today. So me expanding the bar did help. As you can tell, I still got a lisp and drool. I think a lot of the swelling has gone down a lot. Of course, there's still some there. That's why I'm gonna wait a few more days out before I let him swap it back to a shorter bar. But I think we finally found a winner. The snake eyes was a no-go. No-go. The people who pierced the snake eye is definitely a no and go. But I think I found a good combination of what I can do with my tongue piercing. And the one thing I can say about the shorter bar, like I said, I didn't even know it was on there half the time. I didn't feel the balls. If I ate, it didn't like trip up in my tongue or my teeth or anything like that. It didn't get wrapped up with my food like it is now. But I still was just careful because, of course, it was new, it was hurting, it was swollen, that kind of thing. So I will see how things are after I get a little further down the line. I'm more than likely just going to shut this recording off, this video off with this particular episode, so that I can go ahead and put them all together. And over, you know, if anything should come up, then of course I'll just do a quick video and give you an update. But right now, this is how it's going. Like I said, I think we found a winner. And that is my, I don't know if it's a surface piercing, but some people call it a fro piercing. I don't know if it's considered a surface revived snake eye piercing or what have you. But one quick thing, when he did open up the bigger bar, the fold that was there, it's actually starting to flatten out. So all that's coming back to normal. But yeah, so that's this journey part of the piercing. So make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you share this video. So until next time, bye.
I don't mean I like to get it poppin', but these bitches in my business cut me out, you choosing